Go. Yes, we are off. Launched into the ethers. Not just the Zoom ethers, but the YouTube ethers to be recorded forevermore. I can get back to Zoom now. There we go. All right, we made it. Success. No trouble with the technology. And a few more people trickling in. What we are going to do is I'm going to invite everyone just to take a nice deep breath in and just come centered into the space, centered into the moment, centered into the awareness that you have created this incredible and beautiful gift for yourselves today. Third eye work is some of the, especially in the spiritual world, some of the most thrilling and fun. People get really excited about it. And yet there is so much nuance that comes into play when we're working with our third eye that most people aren't aware of in terms of mental acuity and when thoughts are so incredibly overwhelming. It's all third eye imbalance and balance and everything else. And actually in the Western world, our minds, both the sixth and the seventh chakra have a completely different constellation and makeup because we are so much more heavily oriented to the mind. In the mind is obviously what this third eye chakra governs. It encompasses all of the brain with the exception of the very top of the brain. And with that being said, it is also the reason why the goddess Cerridwen today has shown up. So I'm going to invite everyone to take a nice deep breath in. And again, bringing and rolling the chest open, allowing the shoulders to drop down the back of the spine. Let's do it one more time, just really calling ourselves into our body. I'm going to be talking about the mind, so we're going to feel ourselves wanting to just stay up there and out of the body. So I invite you to just keep on with the breath, even rolling the shoulders as much as you need to as we drop into the mythology of the goddess Cerridwen. She is a Celtic goddess, perfect for the Beltane as well, as we are preparing to be in celebration with that. And she brings to us the pursuit of knowledge, the pursuit of wisdom. So let's just take another nice deep breath in for the concept of wisdom. Knowing that as you have gifted yourself with this time to be silent, to go within today, that the pursuit of wisdom and the concept of death and transformation each and every day, renewing ourselves to deepen into wisdom. Again, taking a nice gentle breath in this time, allowing the stomach and the chest to open, the heart to open. As you lick your lips, relax your jaw. Let's go ahead and just allow for the neck to roll gently, bringing the chin down to the chest, gazing up to the ceiling or the sky. Nice deep exhale, just shaking it all off. So before we fully begin with our light link and the usual parts, I'm going to be sprinkling in Cerridwen's story throughout the meditation, but we're first going to start by simply imagining a book on the top of our head. So imagine you're holding a book and we're going to place that book on the top of your head. If we were to part our hair straight down the center, we're going to drop the spine of that book as though it's standing vertically on the spine on the center of our head. Go ahead and imagine that for me. Picture that in your mind, taking the book from your hands, placing it there. And yes, we are using our imagination so that book will stay standing. It's not going to topple off. And just allowing yourself to drop into this imaginatory space. And the next thing I'm going to have you do is imagine this book now opening, falling open. And it may not split with the pages directly down the center. It may be that it just tips over to the right or to the left, or it may be that the pages fall more heavily to the left than the right. So taking a nice little reset, imagining that book now opening, now that I've described it, and observing the wisdom of this book as we imagine it on the top of our heads. Just take notice. How did it open? How many exercises and jumping around, how much jumping around did your mind go through before it settled on what the book was actually up to? Just observing right here, right now. Breathing in, allowing yourself to settle into your sitting bones as you imagine that book, and then quickly slamming it closed, bringing it back down to your lap, imagining placing it in your lap. Curious if any of you have a wild and creative imagination that already knows what book this is that you're reading, or maybe it's some ancient text that you haven't quite identified. It's all good. We are going to now do a nice little clearing exercise to open this chakra up. The center of the book, where the top of the spine of the book was resting, is our ego line. That's the top of the brain. It's where our And what we want to do is clear both sides. So I'm going to invite you as though you've been standing in the shower and you need to slick the water through your hair off of your scalp by just running both hands down the sides of the scalp, all the way down the back of the head until you reach your neck, and then shaking your hands out. And you can do this for real. You can do this in person, or you can imagine yourself doing it. But this exercise, essentially, we're cleaning the side lobes of our brain, allowing all that mind energy to be released. So let's go ahead and do one more nice big clearing. You could even run your fingers down behind your ears and shaking it all out, even shaking your shoulders. Nice deep breath in. Again, breathing in. Allowing the shoulders to roll, and this time taking the book, placing it on the spine again, keeping it closed, and as you release your hands, letting it gently fall open. And notice how it falls open this time. Maybe instead of seeing the book fall open, you get flashes of color in your third eye. Taking another breath, noticing, did the pages fall different this time, heavier left or right? Maybe they fell straight down the center. I'm going to invite you to allow this book to become alive, shifting in its weight, its color, imagining those pages now like a magazine, the lid size of a magazine page reaching all the way down to our shoulders. Taking a nice deep breath in, as we have just activated our neocortex, the sides of our brain that carry and listen to our intuition. If you're driving in the car and you sense movement in the back seat or to the side of your vehicle, but you don't see it, that is this part of our brain, the lateral cortex, both on the left and the right side, that we're activating. And it feeds our mind's eye like nothing else. But typically our focus is up there where the spine of the book is living, in that ego center line portion of the brain. And so we're just going to play right now. Notice if you were to drop from the top of the mind to the side and back up to the top and down to the other side, just take notice of how this feels, this dance between the two. For wisdom that we are in pursuit of today is not held within the pages of the book, and it is not held within the language in the teachings of the gurus. Wisdom is held within the subtle energies and vibrations of our heart that guides us into the knowingness of what is truth, what is right, what is most relevant for us in our journey. As I mentioned at the beginning of our meditation today, we have a constellation of energy up there at the top of our mind, within this third eye, and within our seventh chakra, and within, of course, our star seed chakra that holds the map of our purpose and our journey. As you take a nice deep breath in, allowing yourself to settle into this wisdom, the ways in which your mind reads the pages of the book on the top of your head, as well as the words on the pages within the books that we read every day. And yet it is not the words themselves, but the wisdom within our heart and the ways in which we interpret and analyze and allow ourselves to feel about all of this information that truly is the gift of our third eye. And so as you breathe in and out, we'll begin our journey today with our light link, as we do always, bringing middle finger to thumb and just extending that cord of imagination up to about 12 inches above your head, imagining that as it illuminates like the sun shining down upon each of us, feeling that opening, that connection, that deepening into our energy, body, and field, as though we've just stepped out into the sunlight. Our starseed chakra, where I'm inviting you to connect to now, is like the halo of light that we see on the beautiful paintings and pictures of the angels, of Jesus, of the saints. And yet here it is, the wisdom of those paintings, as you allow this imagination, your imagination, to be flooded with this light, this sense of inner vision, imagining this sunlight dropping in and through, down your body. Again, using the metaphor of the shower as though the golden light is pouring over your head like hot water in the shower, feeling it melting and relaxing the muscles in your neck, in your shoulders, in your spine, as it makes its way all the way down to your sitting bones, and we shift our focus into our bodies. Go ahead, taking a moment to just feel your sitting bones, feel your feet, shifting through all these centers, trusting, even if there's a little bit of resistance there as you shift into the body, trusting, taking a nice deep breath in, imagining that light of the sun melting not only through your body, but down into the earth. In the same way the earth takes in the rain, it's so too, it takes in our light. And feeling this light begin to seep into the earth, like water being absorbed, taken in, as you melt like liquid honey down into the earth, sending your consciousness all the way down through the layers of the earth until we reach the center, the beautiful crystal quartz. You may notice that the shift in energy here is less about what you see and more about feeling your heartbeat, that rhythm, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Allow yourself to find this as we synchronize with the earth, with her frequency, with her rhythm. You may notice that the sounds around you, the environment, becomes louder or more quiet, more still. You may notice your breath becomes more still as you synchronize to her slow rhythm and pace. Noticing now how your third eye is receiving all of this wisdom, all of this energy, as our bodies slow down to the rhythm of our divine nature, that speed that is not of being out in the world and getting shit done, but the speed that is truly capable of making miracles and magic happen, of causing things to grow, birth to happen, rebirth to happen, taking anew. For this is the frequency and the energy and the vibration of Cerridwen. Her magic is that of transformation and the understanding of how to translate wisdom into regrowth and rebirth. Understanding the ingredients that come into play as we live our daily lives, go about doing what we do. Cerridwen understood the forces of dark and light, giving birth to a daughter of the sun, beautiful, like a fairy princess, elegant, graceful, all joy and ease. And then the darkness that was her son, Morphren, the darkness of chaos and destruction, the ugliness that we find inside of ourselves sometimes that we just can't seem to get away from fast enough. And so too did Cerridwen have this impulse to transform not only herself, but her son Morphren, loving him so much, wanting the world to see the beauty that she saw in his magic and his gifts. And so she concocted a potion. It was a potion that took a year and a day to be created, and putting only the perfect herbs and essences and ingredients of love and transformation into this potion, and knowing that every day it needed to be cared for, nurtured, and loved. And so Cerridwen called upon her trusted and loving assistant, Gwion. And yet, the day before the potion would be ready, Gwion accidentally allowed a drop of this potion to fall upon his skin, and horrified, he knew that he had received the magic of this potion. Terrified of Cerridwen's anger and fury and needing to transform and needing to be something else, Gwion instantly transformed himself into another creature. And so as we allow our third eyes to be open right now, giving us this sense of inner vision, how many transformations, how many different visions, how many different characters and personas have you assembled and lived in, sometimes multiple in one day, taking on the title of mom or dad, boss, son, daughter, friend, sister, brother, among the many more. And so Gwion, terrified, transformed, and as Cerridwen, as he expected, Cerridwen found out about this transformation and of how this gift for her son had been lost in this moment, and all of this love and work and preparation. And she pursued Gwion. And so the story goes, there were many, many, many transformations. He became the fish, she became the hawk, he became the bunny, she became the fox, in constant pursuit of the truth, of the beauty, of the desire to be and reclaim that inner light that we all feel within us, the ways in which we shapeshift through our days. And yet there's a simplicity and a trust that we've all learned as we go through this, a rhythm to it. It works, right? It works to be mom or dad in certain circumstances and to be the other in others. We are so multidimensional. And so it was that Gwion eventually transformed into a seed of grain, hiding in the grain silo, thinking Cerridwen would never find him there. And yet she became the chicken and, of course, found Gwion and consumed him, finally ate him. And yet she knew the moment she had, as Gwion dropped into her belly, that the magic would take hold in her womb. And so it is that we find that Cerridwen, in due time, gave birth to a beautiful child, having transformed all of this magic, trusting and knowing that just like the seasons of change, so too do our dreams and our visions change. So too is the vision within our third eye, and the ways in which we understand wisdom, the ways in which we understand sometimes the ugliness that lives within us. I invite you now to take a nice deep breath in, to feel that wisdom in your belly, within our guts. For the child that Cerridwen gave birth to is known now as Taliesin, the great poet, who brought the beauty of the word and the spoken word to the world of the Celtic lands, the bards, who through song and dance and story allowed for all of these stories to evolve and be handed down so we all could understand the many different truths that live within us, and how some truths in some circumstances make sense and are relevant and others are different. And so as I invite you now to take a deep breath in, I'm going to invite you to draw that energy, bringing your sitting bones and your hips up, almost squeezing the spine from the back, squeezing at your back subtly, and allowing that energy to rise, that heartbeat, that rhythm up into the heart, feeling yourself sitting straighter as we open it, and imagining now the light of that wisdom as though that book is rising up out of our bellies as we lift that pelvic floor ever so subtly, drawing our breath into our hearts, imagining the wisdom of all of the stories of each of the chakras and their many different shapes, swirling up like a figure eight around each wheel, up through the throat, through the heart, through the throat, and making its vision into our mind's eye. And from here, the mind's eye beginning to glow like the lighthouse that it is. Taking this breath, this next breath in and out, and just noticing how as we connect with our third eye, how the energy here shifts, how the vision is different from where we began. And as you envision this third eye and this light, maybe for some of you it's more of a feeling sensation, like the sun shining out of your head versus being down on your forehead, coming in. Feeling this energy as though the top of your mind is glowing, and allowing that third eye to illuminate as though it's shining not only out of your forehead, but all the way around, as though we're wearing that halo, no longer up above our head, but down around like a crown. Feeling this crown, the weight of it as you imagine it, using those lateral cortex pieces of your mind that also are capable of imagining some of the coolest things. Feeling your mental on the low, slow burner in the back as you observe. Taking another nice deep breath in as you imagine the weight of this crown and this vision beaming out from all around you, and feeling into the center of your mind, the center of the pineal gland, where this map, where the constellation for this chakra lives. As it deepens and opens, the light, the fire of the earth, all of this wisdom of knowledge and understanding, and the ways in which you felt your body today. No judgment, just simply awareness of whatever showed up was meant to show as you breathe in and out. Again, allowing the body to become part of this journey as you hold space, observing the body and the mind's eye simultaneously. And it may even be that for some of you, you begin to feel and sense a pressure building at the back of the pineal gland. So imagining as though there's a cork back at the base of your skull and your occiput, opening that center, allowing the light to pour out, feeling that deep sense of relaxation as you transform yourself into liquid light, into liquid honey, surrendering, understanding how inside out and upside down, forwards and backwards and round, the ways in which we see the world, if it's done through the mind, can often keep us blind. For it's through the heart that our soul truly flies. And as you take your next few breaths in, I invite you to feel the flight of your soul rising up from your heart, feeling the lightness within your body, the gift of vision from the heart and within, the ability to perfectly and harmoniously balance and harmonize both the mind and our inner vision, to trust so deeply, breathing in and out, breathing in and out, allowing yourself to slowly have a smile grace your lips, surrendering deeper and deeper into this sense of inner peace, this sense of inner calm. As we come back into our hearts, go ahead and give yourself a nice squeeze into your body. And just notice as you feel the firmness and the solidness of your body and your heart and your heartbeat, what is the vision in your mind's eye? What's there? For each of us, it's different. Some of you may have pulsing light, others just kind of a neutral screen. Go ahead and call in love. Let's call in love and see how love presents itself in your mind's eye. It may be a memory, it may be a quick flash of light. Calling that love in and letting this love be what guides us through the day. As you continue to breathe in and out, rolling the shoulders, and slowly allowing that sense of inner vision to match the outer vision, making it a beautiful day. Namaste so much